Have you ever seen a dog look at you like you read the last thing holding the world together? Not with hope. Hope's too soft for that. This was desperation, raw, like his whole soul was just bleeding out through his eyes. I didn't mean to find him. It was past midnight, and the rain was slicing sideways, like the whole city was getting punished. I was walking home from my third graveyard shift that week. You know nurses' hours, tired down to the bone, coffee gone cold, and my mind still replaying the flatline beep from room 312. Some days the hospital doesn't just take your time, it takes pieces of you too. That's when I heard it. Not a bark, not a whimper, just a sound. Low, guttural, like something caught right between life and giving up. I followed it down an alley behind the old auto shop. You know the kind, with rusted dumpsters and broken glass glittering under a busted streetlight. And there, curled in a wet cardboard box that was half collapsed from the rain, was this dog. He was thin as a ghost, his fur matted with mud and something darker. One of his ears was torn clean through. His ribs moved like they were trying to crawl right out of his skin just to breathe. He didn't flinch when I crouched down. He didn't growl. He just stared at me with these eyes, amber, wide, and trembling. Not with fear, but with this quiet, shattered kind of knowing. It was like he'd already decided the world was done with him, and he was just waiting for the final paperwork to go through. I reached out my hand, slow, didn't say a word, just held it there, palm down, letting him decide if I was safe. He licked my fingers. Just one lick. His nose was cold, his tongue as rough as sandpaper. And that's when it hit me. I couldn't walk away. Not from this. Not tonight. I wrapped him in my jacket, it was still warm from my shift, and I carried him home like he weighed nothing at all. But he did. He weighed everything. Back at my apartment, I cleaned him up under the kitchen sink. He shivered so hard I thought his bones might crack. I had to feed him broth with a spoon because he couldn't even chew yet. His teeth were loose, his gums raw. The vet said later that someone had probably kicked him. Repeatedly. He said he was lucky to be alive. I named him Silas. I don't know why. The name just came to me in the middle of the night when he woke up screaming from a nightmare, his paws scrabbling at the floor like he was running from something only he could see. For weeks he barely moved. He'd sleep in the corner by the radiator, and his eyes would track me everywhere, like he thought I might just vanish. He wouldn't let me touch his back legs. He'd flinch at slamming doors, car horns, even the beep of the microwave. But every single morning, no matter how wrecked I felt from work or how heavy the world got, he'd be there. He'd rest his head on my knee, quiet, present. It was like he was holding space for me the same way I was holding it for him. Then came the night I broke. It had been 6 months since the overdose. I never talked about it. Not really. I just buried it deep, wrapped it in work and sarcasm and cheap whiskey. But that night, the grief just cracked open like a busted pipe. I sat on the bathroom floor, sobbing so hard I couldn't breathe, my back against the tub, knees pulled up to my chest. And Silas? He didn't bark. He didn't whine. He just crawled into my lap. His big, bony frame was trembling, and he pressed his nose into my neck. He stayed there until my tears ran dry and my breath evened out. It was like he knew. Like he remembered that kind of pain, too. After that night, something shifted between us. He started walking right beside me. No leash, just trust. He'd follow me to the bus stop in the morning and wait outside the hospital when I pulled doubles. People would stop and ask about him. "Is that your dog?" And I'd say, yeah, he is. The funny thing is, he healed me while I was healing him. A year later, I took him to the park at dawn. It was the first snow of the season, and everything was hushed and silver. He ran. He ran like he'd never been broken. Like the wind owed him a debt and he was finally collecting it. Leaping over logs, snuffling through drifts, tongue out, tail held high. Alive. Truly alive. And I just stood there, watching him, with tears freezing on my cheeks, thinking, this is what redemption looks like. It's not some grand gesture. It's not a miracle. It's just a broken thing choosing to believe in kindness again. And another broken thing choosing to offer it. People say pets save lives. but it's deeper than that. They remind us that we're worth saving too. Silas isn't just my dog. He's the reason I look forward to tomorrow. And if you've ever loved something that had nothing left to give but its trust, you know exactly what I mean. Thank you so much for listening to our story. If it resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more. We'd love to have you as part of our community.